Welcome to Sculpture Studios. With the new film release of the popular Roald Dahl story, The BFG, we've been asked to create some big friendly giant inspired feet for a school in Ilford. Contacted by the current head teacher of the Redbridge Primary School, Ms Buxton to the children but Carol to us, has asked us to create our own version of a giant's feet to display outside the entrance to the school library. With Carol leaving as the head teacher to the school, she wanted to leave behind a bit of a legacy and a parting gift for the children. She sent us some concept images for inspiration and some dimensions that the feet need to be made at. With everything confirmed and the trust that we'll create something visually pleasing for the school, it's over to blocking out from our large billets of polystyrene. Using the usual hot wires and our hot wire table, the poly's cut to rough cubist forms, and this is scaled up just a fraction over the proposed dimensions to start carving down from. An advantage of working with poly or styrofoam is that pieces can be added back on if you make a mistake, but in Aden's case this happens very rarely. He's now going to get stuck into the carving, so best foot forward. Obviously, we never complain about receiving calls for new projects and potential work, but no phone calls is one of the reasons why Aden likes to do his carving at the weekend. This is generally when he's got his head in the zone, and duty calls during the week, but that's just the way it goes. Hola!
Here we have some giant feet carved out of polystyrene, just trying to work out the proportions, but the main thing for the school was we didn't go any more than 600mm in kind of width, and that determined the length and the height. They've got to go underneath their actual ceiling height as well. Trying to get all the gnarliness and the horrible sort of detail of the ugly feet. I think I've made them too nice at the moment, or too pretty. I'm going to ugly them up a bit, and also once we have the sandals on here, and then we can airbrush strips and cuts in the toenails as well, so it really look kind of dirty and ugly. Not really seen from the side you're looking at the moment. The main side is going to be around here, and we are going to add sort of a sandal, and there's going to be a nice bit of depth underneath the whole lot. A left and a right foot.
Once the first one's carved, second one has to be what's known as a handed image, or in this case, a footed image.
Once again, for all the people who look at our videos, using wire brush, rifflers, and then we'll work down to sandpaper, and then we'll show you the next process after that. But in the meanwhile, I'll carry on carving.
Before any glass fibre goes on top, we've sanded the polystyrene back to get rid of any beads, and we're going over with a layer of our secretly sourced sticky back tinfoil. This protects the foam from the resin and it saves it from melting. There are other methods that you could use to achieve this, such as layers of PVA glue, or perhaps you have your own method and material that works best for you. As this is going to be situated inside, and with a particularly captive audience inside the school, the resin needs to be fire rated, so here we're using Class O resin as opposed to general purpose. We're given these a strong build-up of 4 ounces of glass fibre, as no doubt these will be touched, kicked and climbed on with loads of curious sticky fingers, so it needs to be durable and child-friendly. So that the artwork can withstand a little more traffic, we're using 2K car body paints, which are a little tougher than water-based emulsions. A primer goes on first so that we can see any imperfections that we might have missed, and this also provides a solid starting point for the colours to go on top. For more detail on the toenails, and to make them a little more organic and a bit more gnarly, Aden's using a thick batch of resin here to add some natural grain lines. All of these details in the artwork are just added at our own initiative to go a little above and beyond what the client might expect. For all the elements of the sculpture, the skin, the fabric, the nails and the sandals, we're using a theatrical technique of building up the artwork in several layers, and using a combination of brushwork and airbrushes to achieve the desired effects. We try and save on cost for our clients wherever we can, and in this case the transportation cost was lower due to the fact that we could just about squeeze the sculptures into our own van and travel with them ourselves to site. We've bubble wrapped them so they don't get knocked about or damaged during the move, and they're being installed on a bank holiday, so it's a nice surprise for the children when they get back to school. Here we are in the Redbridge Primary School. We've used some kind of mastic sealant to hold it down. That will stop the foot from being pulled out from the bottom. And for belt and braces, we've secured it up the top with a metal bracket, and that's been drilled into the wall behind. Unless you've got some immensely strong kid, they shouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon. How are they going to get them out? I don't know. It's always enjoyable for us to create oversized props, and for a project like this to come along that requires carving a couple of one-off pieces of sculpture and some nicely themed artwork, it's always very much welcome. We'd like to thank Carol Buxton from the Redbridge Primary School for coming to us with the project. and we hope the students at the school appreciate their new entrance to their school library. Please feel free to leave any comments below, as they're always appreciated, and hit the subscribe button for our latest videos. You can like Sculpture Studios on Facebook and follow @Aden Hynes on Twitter, and for more of our work, visit sculpturestudios.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching.